What's up? This is the vlog test of the Sony 20mm, and yeah, I thought it'd be a good idea to get a haircut. Every day my wife tells me, your hair's getting fluffy.
Okay.
Well, whatever. So I'm getting a haircut. I'm gonna go see my friend Diego. He just started working at this new parlor called Parlor by Hades. Yeah, let's get into it. What's up, everybody?
I feel like this lens is nice if like you want to capture as much as possible. Right now the sky is beautiful. Sometimes you want to get everything that your eye can see, right? Kind of hard to do that sometimes when you have a really close-up lens. I mean, if you're traveling and you have like a beautiful view in front of you and you only brought like a 50mm lens or something, that can be really constricting. So that's a nice thing about it. If you want to just set it up on a tripod and not worry about not being in frame, and you know, you just have full confidence that everything's going to be seen, it's a good lens for that.
Am I gonna be able to get past this without water? Who knows? You know, whenever you see a lot of YouTubers and they film, you see them and they are in focus, but everything else is kind of out of focus. You're able to see their whole studio or their whole background and everything. Chances are they're using a pretty wide lens. I think that's why I really like this lens, is because you get the 1.8 aperture and it's 20mm. You can see everything in the background. Usually when I'm filming, I'm on like a 50mm or like a 35. Sometimes I do that because I don't want to show everything in the room. Like, you know, maybe something's messy and I don't want to show that corner of the house. And the 20mm, it's so wide that you can like see my dog over there just chilling. You know, you can see this plant, you can see everything on like the walls in the background. When you shoot on 1.8, you know, I'm in focus, but everything else is out of focus. If you get like a 2.8 or like a f4, everything is mostly going to be in focus, and it might be a little bit more of a flat image. You know, that's great for some scenarios, but I think when you want like a single focus on the subject, it's really nice to have that 1.8 aperture. There's a lot of scenarios where I'm focusing on capturing the composition and also using a gimbal. So I'm focusing on like moving the gimbal, making sure that the composition looks good. If I'm filming something like dance like this, you know, there's a lot going on. There's people around going nuts. There's dancers, there's the lighting, there's everything. What I love about having a wide angle lens is that you can capture the whole scene. It's not just focused on that one dancer, like one dancer and then like a few dancers around them. It's focused on like everyone. It's really catching the whole vibe of like what's going on in the room. Even when I went to get my hair cut, you know, you were able to see more of the barbershop. You're able to see more of what's going on, you know, not just a close-up shot of the clippers or a close-up shot of Diego's face, but you could see like the whole atmosphere of the barbershop. This lens is great if you have a specific use for it. Like, I find that when I'm not shooting a lot of dance videos, I don't use it as much. I just end up using my 24-70. Because this lens is super versatile. I can get down to 24, which is like really close to 20. So most of the time I'm like, I'm just gonna use this. But again, this guy's a lot heavier than this guy. If you just want a lens that you can put on a gimbal and you don't have to worry about weight. You don't have to worry about zooming in and out. All you want to do is just capture everything at once. This is a great lens for that. You know, if you do like real estate videography, it's really good because you can get into those places where it's darker and you can just stop down to 1.8 or like 2 and you can get a lot more light coming in. It's wide enough to see the whole room. You know, you could always get a 16 to 35, but again, you're stuck at 2.8 when you get that lens. So this one's nice because it's in between. It's wide enough, but it's not like super wide. I do find 24 millimeters to be a little bit more appealing. So if this is 20, this would be 24. It's not a very big difference. When you go down to 24, you kind of lose a little bit of that distortion. I find the autofocus to be really good. Again, it's a Sony native lens. It's made by Sony. Lens is made for video and photo, which is great because the autofocus motors are fast, they're smooth. You know, it's obviously not on the fastest setting right now, but that's kind of like the autofocus right there. So if you're filming yourself and you show a lot of products and you're just like, yo, check this out. You know, you only have to wait like a second or two and then you come back, it comes right back to the face. Pretty nice, it's pretty fast. There's no hunting or anything like that going on. And the nice thing about shooting in 4K is that it's wide, so you get everything, but if you just want to punch in like this, you still get some depth of field, you know, you still get some character, but it still looks good. It's still very sharp. It's a great lens if you want to get some establishing B-roll. It does actually have a really good ability to get close up. If you just look at this, you can see that my lens is really close to this rock, but it's focusing perfectly fine, and I didn't really have any issues with that. This lens has the aperture ring on it, and I don't really care about the aperture ring. There are some techniques that you can do where you're like using an ND and then turning the aperture so that like it's going like more depth of field and focusing on the face. That's like one scenario that you'll ever do that. No other reason for you to do that. So it seems kind of useless to put that thing on. Like it's cool. It gives the lens more character. My camera already has a little thing on the front that I use to change the aperture. So it's like, I don't really see the point. It's kind of redundant at this point. Having it like de-click so that you can do that focus thing, I'm like, man, I will never use that. I do kind of use it because it's kind of fun, but you know, if I want full control over the aperture, because sometimes you can bump that aperture ring and it'll change, and because it's like right by your hand, you can just change it all the way to auto, and it allows you to control the aperture with your camera again and not just with the lens. If you want that, like it really doesn't matter. It doesn't add any value to the camera really. It just gives you some more control, but I don't know, I've never really found like a good use for it. This lens is built great. The focus ring is very smooth. Everything's very tight. You know, it's a Sony lens. They make good quality lenses. This guy's for sure the gimbal king. Like it works so well with these cameras. It's so small and it barely adds any weight. I think it's amazing. I've really enjoyed it. This is the one lens that I've had that I don't use that often, but I have no desire to get rid of it. You know, I know that I'm gonna use it again. I know that I'm gonna use it in those specific scenarios and it's gonna come in really clutch. Yeah, I hope that kind of describes this lens well. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Sony 20. I have an affiliate link in the description down below if you want to click that. It helps me out a lot. If you guys have more questions about this lens, definitely leave me a comment. I'd love to answer your questions. If there's anything that I missed, do you think is important to you, then like, yeah, hit me up. Yeah, anyways, I hope that answers some of your questions or concerns. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.